Hey miners, Mining King here. Today we're going to be checking out the ultrasonic cleaner. So let's get right into it. So we got my ultrasonic cleaner right here. The only thing I did add off camera was I added a gallon of this distilled water. So I got 1 gallon of just distilled water in here. We also have the Branson EC formulated cleaning concentrate. I'll leave a link down below for this, as well for the ultrasonic cleaner I do have. They do make one more version bigger than this, and it's actually a double basket, so you can get 2 wide. Now, just to let you know, ultrasonic cleaners are not meant to clean dirty GPUs like Mr. Red Panda did. My experience and my research, you need to clean the GPU 100%, disassemble it all the way down to the PCB, and only put the PCB in the fluid here, okay? You also, what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be turning it on, letting it get to temperature. It does take about 45 minutes to an hour for it to heat up. So I'll be right back. So I have my measuring cup right here. It's about 300 milliliters is what I measured it to. So it's about, this says to do about a 2.5 to 5% concentration with our water. So this is about 3%. You're just gonna dump it right in there. Okay, we're going to close our lid, and then we're going to plug it in. So I have the ultrasonic cleaner plugged in. We're then going to turn it on. There's a power supply switch here in the back. So you flip that switch, you will see what the temperature is set to, because this is what I had it set to last time. This is actual temperature, and this is the time for how long it's going to vibrate. Now, this particular unit, I don't know if other units are different. If this thing is not actually vibrating, it won't have the temperature on. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, while we're waiting for this thing to heat up, we are going to be tearing apart this GPU. This is the 5600 XT that I got from Mr. Voltage. As you can see, it is a limited signed max voltage GPU. Now, this thing has been mined on, so let's take a little bit of a deeper, close up here. You can see that there's quite a bit of gunk right there. Quite a bit underneath the fan blades. There's also, you can see some down in here. So, she's been mined on, but she looks like she's been pretty well cared for, so I am going to, and here's another reason why you don't want to dunk these inside of here, right? Because after you put it in this solution, you will have to clean it with rubbing alcohol, right? So the solution here can damage the bearings on your fans. This is why you don't just go like this and just stick it in there. So we're going to disassemble the card. We're going to scrub the PCB. I have some rubbing alcohol, so we're going to be tearing down the card and cleaning it. And the only thing that we're putting in this solution in here is going to be the PCB itself. Nothing else will ever touch the ultrasonic cleaner. All right. So just bear with me 1 second, and I'll be right back. So now that we have Max's card all the way torn down, and just so you guys can kind of see that this card, it's a little dirty, has a couple little grimy spots, right? But we need to clean those up because we don't want any of this getting into our solution, right? Because we can put this back in our 1 gallon jug, and we can recycle it, right? I suggest you put it in the jug when you're done. You can get more than one use out of this if you keep the solution clean. Essentially, what a ultrasonic cleaner is meant to do is the vibrations, right, from the ultrasonic cleaner. If you're getting like artifacting and stuff like that on your GPU, dirt and grime will build up underneath these memory chips. The vibrations from the ultrasonic cleaner will help break those up and hopefully loosen them up, right? This card doesn't have that problem, but I'm just doing this as an example. So you could bring cards back to life, maybe, right? It's not designed to take full GPUs that are super caked with dirt and just dunk them in there. That's not what this is for, okay? A lot of people have that misconception. Do not use Windex. Use this Branson EC formulated cleaner right here. Once again, I'll leave a link down below. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get this GPU right here and let's scrub it off, get all this gunk off of here, and then we can put it into our solution. All right, so I gave it a quick scrub, and you want to make sure you get both sides because there is dirt on the other side, right? So I'm just having it just dry right now, and as you can see, there is lots of crusties. So she's pretty clean, as clean as I think I'll get her. So we're gonna let this dry, and by then our tank will hopefully be heated up, and then we can start doing the ultrasonic cleaner section. Okay, so 1 minute, guys. Hey miners, Mining King here. Welcome to the Community 500 giveaway, where I have partnered with several other YouTubers, and we're working on a community project to give everybody in our community, our viewers, and give back to you guys during this time of this bear market. There will be 10 different prizes unique to everybody participating in the project. My unique item will be a RX 6700 XT signed by yours truly. We have partnered with Django Jax in his amazing art skills, and he has created 10 custom designs for us. There will be 50 shirts for each design. So this is a limited run of t-shirts. Each t-shirt will give you 50 entries in the Gleam giveaway. Don't want to buy a t-shirt? That's fine too. There's plenty of ways to enter free in the URL down below, so check the link out to get your free entries for Gleam. We will also be giving a portion of our proceeds back to a nonprofit organization called the Water Project Incorporated, which helps provide clean water to sub-Saharan Africa. We will be hosting a live stream on YouTube to announce the winners on November 30th for the Gleam. Now, be sure to check out all my other partners that are participating in this giveaway because they have some awesome things as well. And just remember, the Mining King gives you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys. So now that our ultrasonic cleaner is up to temp, I'm going to, and the card's dry, I'm going to show you how to set the card inside the ultrasonic cleaner and how to kind of work it a little bit. So mine is a little bit smaller. There is one more size up you could go. That's a double basket wide. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's stick the card inside of the ultrasonic cleaner. So as you probably can tell by the sound, this thing is very loud. Okay. And this is what the fluid will look like. We're going to, now you don't just want to just lay the card in there, because then what you're trying to do is you're trying to work these cavities in between the chip and the board. So laying it flat, it's just going to sit there. So you kind of want to work it a little bit like this, right? Lay it at a little bit of an angle like this and do half, right? And then we'll stick it down, we'll do the other half, and then we'll stick it down so it's this way. You want to work each angle. Now we want to do this about 2 minutes each side about. You don't want to do it for very long. It can do, from the instructions, it says you don't want to do any more than about, 10 minutes total time in the bath here. So we're going to stick to that. We're going to do about a minute or so on each side, and then, we'll take it, we'll flip it back the other way to cover the other half. And then I'll show you what we're going to be doing in the end as well. All right, it's been a minute. We're going to take it and we're going to flip it over this way. So you can use gloves. I just, the gloves I had got holes in them. They come with a pair of like rubber dish gloves. So, and there we go. All right, guys, it's been about a minute. Now we're going to switch it to one of these ways diagonally, okay? So what you want to do is you want to try to use the basket here, so to let the GPU rest on it, to give that kind of that slope. That way it'll work the angle here. We're gonna put the lid back on. Wait another minute. All right, guys, it's coming up on the minute mark, so let's go ahead and switch the board to the other side. So there we go, we got the board going the other way now. Let's get the lid back on. Okay, and then we're gonna wait another minute. Now, it's important to remember that while this is going on, and you did clean the GPU with this first, you're going to have to rinse off the GPU with rubbing alcohol when it's done. You do not want to let it dry with this solution on it. So be warned, you will need probably a good amount of rubbing alcohol because you want to make sure that you get all of this solution off the card. So I'm going to hold it over this bowl and dump it on there to make sure I thoroughly rinse off any of the solution from the ultrasonic cleaner. I don't have a bowl accessible really for the size of the GPU, but if you have a big enough bowl, I mean, you could just submerge it in there, rinse it out a few times, and then you... So we're coming up on the minute mark again. It's been about 5 minutes total. It's been about 4 to 5 minutes total we've had on each side. Well, we're gonna try to get any of the excess solution off of the card here so we don't get it, you know. So I'll be right back. Let me rinse this off, but you need to rinse this off thoroughly with rubbing alcohol. Okay, so I've went through about a bottle of this, dumping it, make sure to flip it on this side and rinse those ports off, right? You want to make sure you get everywhere all over the card, okay? Because you don't want to get this back together and not have rinsed it off. I'm assuming that it'll probably damage the card over time, but these are the instructions for using the Branson EC cleaner. So the final step is we need to let this dry off, and then we need to actually blow it out with some kind of air compressor or, you know, compressed air or something like that. Repeat again. Do the alcohol again. I do it twice myself, but that's just me because I want to make sure that the card is 100% good to go. You probably only need to do it once, but I'm doing it for my own, you know, me making, you know, essentially feeling better about it, making sure it's done right and I don't, you know, screw it up. All right, guys, so the card is dried off, okay? This is the second time I air dried it, and then I rinsed it with more alcohol, air dried it, blew off with the electric air gun right here. So it's pretty much good to go at this point. You could let it sit for like a full 24 hours if you want. I recommend that if you're somebody new who wants to make sure that everything's good. Just make sure when you're blowing it out that you do blow out the ports here, as well as the PCIe right here. So I'm going to put some thermal paste on this and reassemble the card, and it should be good to go. All right, miners, so I took out my 2080 Ti, which was on my test bench out here. So I had to move these out here because this was in my studio area, and I changed some things around. But you can see that it is on the motherboard right now, and it is working. It's by itself. I did forget to change it in Hive, but you can see that it does say an RX 5600 XT Gigabyte. So it's on Mini Z right now. So this is the perfect time to be cleaning your rigs, doing an ultrasonic cleaner, cleaning your GPUs, maybe buying some broken GPUs, maybe trying to see if you can fix them with the ultrasonic cleaner. Great stuff to do in the off season. Learn some new equipment. And this way you could utilize it during the bull run and you're kind of familiar with it, right? So the last thing I'll go over is what you should do after your fluid has cooled off. So after the fluid's cooled off, you're going to come back over here. You're going to take your empty jug. You got your hose, and then you're just going to run the fluid back down. So you can see it's getting lower. I recommend just not keeping the fluid in here so that way like dirt and debris don't get in here. So we're just gonna put it right back in here. So all right guys, that's how you use our ultrasonic cleaner. I hope you liked the video. All right, Mining King out.